Alright, hello everybody and welcome to this video where I explain how I made the dish japchae. To start off, we're just gonna get all of our base ingredients out, such as our dangmyeon, our assortment of vegetables such as peppers, onions, spinach, mushrooms, and carrots, and then a cut of beef. This can be your choice, it doesn't really affect the recipe too much. And in order to start the prep, we're going to start by cutting up our meat, both by prepping the meat by finding excess fat and tendons or things that would affect the quality of the meat, and then slicing into thin stir-fry-esque strips. Once the meat is all cut up, we're going to put that into a separate bowl, which we will then use for the marinade. The marinade is made out of these ingredients, which includes soy sauce, rice wine or rice vinegar, ground pepper, minced garlic, and sesame oil. So we're going to mix all of those ingredients together and then add our meat in, mixing that with a spoon or with your hands, whichever one you feel does the best. And then after prepping the meat, we're going to start by prepping our vegetables, starting with our pepper, just cutting thinly. Same with our carrots, we'll peel and julienne or thinly slice until it's ready to cook evenly. And then we will do the same with our onions, peeling and prepping it, and then cutting it thinly in order to help it cook well. For the mushrooms, make sure you rinse them well beforehand and then cut them thinly. And then we're making our mushroom and noodle marinade, which includes honey, brown sugar, soy sauce, pepper, and sesame oil. And then we need to mix that in with our mushrooms, but just about a tablespoon, because the rest will be used for the noodles later. And then here are our ingredients for the prep, because this has just been prep and now it's finally time to start cooking. And we're going to do that by boiling some water to blanch our spinach. So to blanch your spinach, you're just going to put the spinach in some boiling water for about 5 to 10 seconds and then cool it down. And as we're cooling it down, we're going to be making our spinach seasoning, which includes some salt, garlic, and sesame oil, and then mix in that spinach when it's done cooling. Now it's time to start cooking the vegetables, and I used my wok with some sesame oil. And as per following the recipe, you cook the vegetables color-wise from lightest to darkest. So I started with the onions, and then the carrots, and then the peppers. And you want to make sure you just cook them until, I did it to my personal preference. Like, I cooked the carrots like to how I would like them to taste. And when you're done cooking the vegetables, make sure to put them in the large bowl where the spinach is. And then once the vegetables are done, we're going to cook the beef and just cook it as the instructions say, or just however long you want. And then in the same pan where we blanch the spinach, I'm going to put in the dangmyeon into a new pot of boiling water for about 6 to 7 minutes. And once the noodles are cooked, I'm going to cool them down and drain them, and then put them into the pot again and add the noodles and mushroom marinade in and let that sit for a little bit. And once the meat is done cooking, we're going to add the noodles into that same wok and just stir it around for about 2 to 3 minutes in order to get the sauce fully incorporated. Once the noodles are done, add them into the mixing bowl with the rest of the fully cooked ingredients. And now there's some time for creative freedom with the garnishes. I decided to make fried eggs in order to put on top. And if you really want to be creative, you can separate the yolks and the whites, but I didn't feel like doing that. And so once the egg is done, you put it on top, and then you just mix all of the ingredients together. And so it really does work best when you use your hands, but be careful because the noodles were in fact very hot when I did this. So just be careful not to burn your hands. And then there is a finished plate for tasting, and my dog Callie was very excited, but she did not get any, unfortunately. And then after the meal was all ready, I just had a little taste test, and I will say I would definitely recommend for you to get japchae, whether at a restaurant or to cook it yourself, because in my opinion, it is an A+ meal.